Welcome to the video series Augmentative Communication Basics. This is video number 8, How do I set up activity-based communication boards? My name is Susan Berkowitz, and I've been a speech-language pathologist working with AAC for more than 35 years. Today, I'm going to talk about activity-based picture or word-based communication boards. There are some effective and ineffective ways to put vocabulary onto a communication board, and we want to make sure that vocabulary organization makes sense to the user, is consistent from one activity to another, offers some core vocabulary for multiple responses with minimum word real estate, and offers some opportunity for off-topic responses. If you're creating an activity-based communication board for a user, you want to make sure that there is some core vocabulary included, particularly words for leaving the activity such as stop and different, and for continuing the activity such as more. You want there to be words for more than requesting, so have some vocabulary for commenting, even if it's just basic symbols for good and bad, such as thumbs up and thumbs down. You also need some specific words for the activity itself, adjectives and verbs especially, that relate to the activity, as well as some nouns that are specific. Also, use pronouns wherever they make sense. These are core words and will carry over from one board to the next for practice. If you haven't seen my discussion of core words, these are the words that we use the most often, the small core group of words that get used over and over again in much of what we say. These are the words that can combine into phrases and sentences to cover many communication purposes. For toddlers, 25 words make up more than 96% of what they say. For adults, about 100 words make up about 50% of the words we use daily. Here is a sample activity board for arts and crafts activities. You can see the use of core words such as pronouns, verbs, and question words that are important words for the user to learn, since they can be reused over and over again in different situations. There are relatively few nouns, just the ones that are specific to this context. By using core words and placing them in the same location on every activity board you make, the AAC user learns more quickly where they are and how to use them. This is a generic board for reading interactions. These core words are relevant for this activity, and with only 20 spaces, we want to make sure to maximize the use of each and every word on the board. You can see that there are no nouns, but still sufficient vocabulary to interact with in a book reading. Activity-based communication boards can give the user quick access to the words needed specifically for that activity, so that they can interact using words they need without having to sift through words they don't need. On the downside, activity-specific boards can reduce access to off-topic words, which the user may need in order to tell you he wants to do something different, needs to go to the bathroom, or that the kids next to him is bothering him. If activity boards don't use core words, they can limit the student's learning to construct genuine messages. If whole phrases are used in a single space, the user is restricted to messages he may not want to use at all, but doesn't have a way to tell you. And you need to be careful about keeping any given word in the same location on multiple boards. Research tells us that stability of location is important for AAC users' learning. If activity boards are well constructed, they can provide the AAC user with the ability to interact in a given context functionally and appropriately. Activity-based boards should always be used as a part of a broader AAC system. They should never be the student's primary communication system piece. Remember, an AAC system is made up of multiple components which work together to provide communication across contexts. These boards should just be one small piece of that system. So now I hope you feel like you know what an activity-based communication board is and how to construct one. I've talked about what words to use, explained a little bit about what core words are, and talked about the pros and cons of activity-based communication boards. Take a look at the rest of my AAC Basics video series for more AAC information. You can also visit my blog for more tips and some free resources. Visit my Teachers Pay Teacher store for additional communication and special education resources. And check out my apps for language development, Question It, and Sound Swaps. See you later.